My Gavan and Melonine, and well met indeed. I'm Arachia Galadurthan, head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back as we continue on as Enedwaith. We are about to end the turn and get the message that will spur us off. That's not the right word. That will send us off on our journey to reforming the Kingdom of Athamore. Soon. Full disclaimer, the Kingdom of Athamore is not a Tolkien canonical kingdom, and it has been invented for Divide and Conquer by one of our primary modders, Lord of Links. It is a fantastic system, we support it wholeheartedly, and you should too. Captain, goodness gracious, Flythvertach. What a name. What a name. It's like they just smashed the keyboard when they were naming you, didn't they? Jesus. Anywho, we are just about to end the turn, but just as a brief recap, Rohan have finally moved an army over. Swefred has come to hit us at Bregnas. We are moving a full army down under Flythvertach. Flythvertach is heading south to stop them. Isengard still has very, very little on our southern border, and Dunland was taken in the last episode. Byrig fell. Dunland's last holdout is now the Citadel, or fortress, castle, Motte Bailey of Keloniach. They do also, I think, still have Mengelin, but I can't verify those facts just yet. Our diplomats are moving in to find out. We have another diplomat somewhere, actually, so we can move him while we're doing that. Oh, no, he's looking at Keloniach, of course. So it is your duty to go to Mengelin. Ah, no, it's fallen to Bree. So Keloniach is indeed Dunland's last region. Right, with everybody moved, let's end the turn and get things going. Something that lots of people have suggested, and I cannot stress enough that I am not going to do this, is to peace out Rohan and attack Isengard. But I don't know why everyone wants that. We've fought against Isengard so many more times on this channel than we have fought against Rohan. So we're going to continue fighting against Rohan. Also, the beauty of Enedwaith is that you don't have to play it strictly good, strictly evil. Play it as grey and neutral as you wish. Now, of course, you can do that with any faction in the mod. It's a total war mod. That's kind of the point. But Enedwaith, you are naturally encouraged to play neutrally.
And not war for
oh, fools. I am not going to ceasefire with you. I'm going to dance on the bones of your people when you are finally killed in Keloniach. Anywho, with a glass of chilled Sancerre. No, yes, Enedwaith is neutral, encouraged to be, so fight everyone and anyone. We need a certain number of regions to win, and we're going to use Rohan to obtain those regions. So stand by. Dunland dwindles, Byrig falls, the Athamorian debate. Settle in. It is done. At long last, the 8 chieftains of the clan sit once again around the clan moot. Much struggle has brought us to this point, against bandits, Dunland, and even our own kin. Now we are secured, however, and can stand firm. With our kin in Dunland posing little threat now that their heartlands are ours, and we have proved the depths of our conviction. We have not only united our clans, but have also united them with our warlike kin of Dunland. It is now time to decide our future. The meeting began at peace. There was much gladness at first, but the tension rose when it came to address the elephant in the room. Where to from here? Ansgar of the Keefi broke the silence. It is done. I see no reason to linger. We have our own lands to administer, and I see no reason to continue to allow the Mohaini to lead a united military when the mission of reclamation has been fulfilled. Surely we can return to the norm, wherein each clan can be responsible for its own affairs. An uproar accompanied his words. The chieftain of the Mordag protested. How rich. You call into other clans when it is your home that is in danger, but once the job is done, you're quite happy to remove that which was keeping the rest of us safe. This unified force is giving my clan pride. I shall not suffer you to take it from me. It seemed certain that it would not end well as the uproar continued and clans began to align themselves before either side. It would only take one misplaced word or blow for conflict to erupt. And then there was a thud. An Ansgar fell to the floor, an arrow marking his forehead, the black arrow of the Dove Sheath. And she stepped forward. Ife, Donchaith's superior and the leader of that order, cease your bickering. That man wanted nothing but to create conflict. We have found evidence from the Keefi hunters that while they hunted for their food, their leaders feasted. The source of that wealth has become clear. It was not bought by the devotion of their kin to them, but by the tainted coin of the White Wizard. Yes, the Keefi have been accepting bribes all along to stir chaos. The Fallen One wished for them to create weakness so that Dunland could prey on us all. That was why they did not argue. I've lost my place. That was why they did not argue for reclamation till their own home fell, by happenstance, to bandits. This latest attempt at urging you to abandon your newfound unity was a paltry attempt to win back into his good graces. We, however, will not urge or manipulate you. Our oath compels us to stand alongside you, but never with you. We have hence removed the taint from this council, and any decision must now be your own. As for the Keefi, the remaining leaders should fall into line lest they wish to follow Ansgar. And with this she withdrew, leaving a terrible silence. The Liadan chieftain was the first to speak. I am aware of my clan's sins, but I must speak nevertheless. If the White Wizard wishes us to splinter apart, I say we give him the opposite. He should gaze upon us, unified. The Fowland chieftain then rose. I concur, and I can speak for our kin in Dunland who have joined with us. And I would go a step further. Although the methods of the Liadan may have been wrong in casting off that which defines us, we can neither no longer remain scattered clans. We can also no longer remain scattered clans. I say it is time to gather under one banner, as our kin in Dunland did, but without the cruelty that marked their unification. The Bersich chieftain agreed. If we wish to stand equal in matters of trade, arms, and parley to our neighbours, then we must appear equal. There must be a single authority rather than disparate clans. The Failani's chieftain rose. But I think I speak for all when I say it must not be a king. This council must be that authority, with all having a voice, lest some are discarded as mongrels and outcasts and left to rot. Let this council rule, not only in times of strife, but in all matters. A Keefi hunter also spoke up. I can speak for my people. We would be most proud to join with you, us hunters, who have given our lives and will continue to give them for this dream. The Keefi stand with you. The Mordag's leader spoke again. Hunters, you do your clan honour, showing true nobility. Who are we to refuse? At last my people have something to be proud of once again. I say, however, let not this city serve as our seat. It will bring to mind naught but memories of bickering clansmen. I propose a bold venture. I propose that we reclaim our capital of old, Athamore. The Keefi's ignoble rulers would argue that it is tainted by the despoilers, but I would say that we should not let them. Those who are long dead keep our home. My ancestors died to protect it, and I would see it reborn. Let the Tir Crocoil stand again. But not as it were. Let it represent who we are now. The Mordag, Keefi, and Bersich, who survived the invaders. The Liadan and Mochaini, who have led us since. The younger clans of the Fowland and Failani too. Even our kin in Dunland. And most of all, let the Dove Sheath be acknowledged for their tireless aid. Award to them a seat, even if ceremonial. They are as much a part of the clans as any, and should be honoured as such. To his speech there was roars of approval. We concurred, of course. The choice of a new capital would also be useful as a neutral ground. Alkfud, while secure, always had sat uneasy with some as both the seat of the Clan Moot and the Mochaini. We have been allowed to continue our command of the armies to orchestrate this next grand stage of our reclamation, and now we must reclaim Athamore and rebuild the Tir Crocoil. For this, we must set a course for the city that the despoilers built upon the sacked remnants of our home. The city that has long stood watch over our lands, crouching over the river as a foreboding sentinel. Tharbad, the ruined great port of the Númenóreans whom sacked both our home and that despoiled the forest we held dear. There shall the foundations of our future be laid. To progress, the Tir Crocoil must be constructed in Tharbad. That was the longest message I think I've ever read, but worthwhile. Very worthwhile. Oh, Rohan didn't attack us. Perfect, so we can just stop them before we move on. Tharbad has just built land clearance, which is perfect timing because the Tir Crocoil stands ready. I will not read about it until it is built, just to spare you another 5 straight minutes of me reading. So let's get that constructed and get things moving along. It enables the recruitment of Enedwaith marksmen, Enedwaith guardsmen, Enedwaith cavalry, and Tir Crocoil Coisantoiri. A fantastic unit. 15 melee attack, 12 missile attack, 9 charge on the bonus, 9 charge bonus, and 21 total defense. Coisantoiri. But first, Captain Flythe Vertach. I've never seen a name like that before. It's madness. Must attack Swefred. Swefred? I'm sure he'll run away. Yes, he ran away instantly. Off you go with your tails between your tall horse's little legs. That's can't be. Tall horse's little legs. I suppose it could be a tall horse with little legs. It just look really weird. Dwarves of Erebor and the goblins of Moria have gone to war. Our army in Byrrig is no longer required to sit in Byrrig. We are no longer really bothered about Dunland. They don't border us, so they're probably going to bugger off. But Trunian might still pose some sort of threat. So, Tharbad, if you can, actually, just train a couple more units. I know I recently just disbanded your garrison, but train them again. And let's leave a general over here. We'll leave that one. And if we leave him a unit that doesn't have any experience points, there we are. And then if you could just move your army south now. Build us some towers as you go.
We shall continue tomorrow.
Always in the market for towers. Yes, Dunlending Pikemen are mercs. I thought so. So they don't get trained from the usual buildings. Alright, our army's now muster on our southern border to put ready plans for our invasion of Rohan itself. Dunlendings have fallen.
Yes, my
They now answer to the banner of Enedwaith. And in honour, and in almost homage and memory to what they once were, given that we are closely linked in blood, we will continue their gallant campaign against the invaders. Invaders whom were gifted the land that they now call home from the great despoilers of our past. Let the Númenóreans' legacy in Middle-earth end here. We rise, and they will fall. And to that end, once Rohan has fallen, we shall assist Isengard, although that's my only qualm thus far, if we just briefly step aside from the role-playing aspect that I seem to be diving deeper and deeper into. That message strongly suggested that Saruman was our enemy, and he was paying the Keefi. But of course, we're currently allied to Isengard. But then, I don't actually think that's the end of the world, because Saruman was a trickster. Trickster's probably the wrong word, but Saruman used his voice to get people to do his bidding, didn't he? And he was playing people off one another in an attempt to rise to power. So I don't think it would be wholly unheard of for him to be allied to a nation, but also secretly using people within that nation to rise up and spread discord and dissent. Oh, also, as someone pointed out in the last episode, which I foolishly got wrong, if I had allied with the Ardenaim, it wouldn't have broken my allegiance with the High Elves. It would have instead stopped the war between the High Elves and the Ardenaim. It would have pieced them out, to use the phrase the commenter used. And that, of course, is correct. That is what would have happened. So I was wrong in that regard. However, I'm not disappointed that I broke the... that I didn't say yes to the alliance, because I think the High Elves will swiftly attack the Ardenaim again if they are forced to peace out. They will just go back to try and get Harlon. They want it back. And I will then be forced to choose between the High Elves and the Ardenaim, and I'm going to choose the High Elves. So I'm not overly bothered that I said no to the alliance. Even if my reasoning was wrong, my judgment, I believe, was sound. Right, 4 more turns on that. It doesn't take long to build. That's quite nice. You might as well keep going up here and building more towers. Find out all you can about the goblin hold of Region Ostinethil. Ostinethil means town of the elves, so the fact that it's currently held by the goblins is a bit of an issue for them, I suppose. Right, your army might as well just stay there. Oh no, go in the fort, yeah. And then when we come down, if Don Hythe leads that army, oh, you've got an extra unit. We don't need a garrison of that size here at all, actually. So if we take those two out and go and link up with Don Hythe. Oh, you can't. Oh, bugger. All right, well, run south because we'll have 2 armies available in due course anyway, and there's troops from here that we're going to use as well. Do we want to finally get Mootspeaker Tramach into the battle, or should we just leave him in Alford to govern? He is far and away our best general, I think. Yes, he still is. Even though he's not fought a single battle, he's our best general. Don Hythe is doing what he can to rise up to meet him, but his command is actually really low. Jesus. His acumen's good. The city square fills to bursting when this man takes to the stage. He is universally loved as a ruler. Not as good as Tramach. This man could turn the pits of Angband into the halls of Tyrion inside of a week. He is one of the finest bureaucrats in Middle-earth. And yet the Númenórean sons would look down on us as nothing more than simple fisherfolk. But here we stand as the pride of Middle-earth. Speaking of pride of Middle-earth, let's take more of our army south. We don't need a garrison in Dunlarach. Oh, you can get some good units there, though, actually. But bizarrely, you can't get Keefi Huntsmen or Mordag Fishermen. So train a unit of them and train a unit of them. And use those as your garrison. The Ballister might as well go. But Ballisters are so niche. I don't think they're all that useful in normal battles. They're good against... Oh, Jesus, it's the faction leader of the goblins. What is he doing wandering through our realm? Are we at war with the goblins? No, we're neutral. Curses. I think I might remove that sound. I think I'm going to remove the Magyars, the Britons, the Burmese, and the Khmer, and just have the Spanish and the Italians and the Aztecs and the Incas. Leave those. Although the Italian one's a bit lengthy as well, actually, isn't it? Maybe just use the shorthand Italian one rather than the extended one that I currently have. The things are looking up, and of course we've already captured Tharbad, so we were able to build the Tir Crocoil up pretty much straight away. Alkford might actually be able to upgrade straight away as well. It might be one of the few places where we can show off the upgrade to the script. Now remember that if memory serves, actually, Wildmen cities and large cities are in the mod already for this playthrough. So when we upgrade Alkford, it won't have a standard Northman campaign strategy model. It will have its own Wildman strategy model. So I'm very looking forward to that. I've been given 2,000 gold coins, and Dunland have gone off that way, actually. They're not coming for us. Herrick built some roads, nice to see. Londare got crop rotation, which is good. Continuing to try and get that into a money place. So we need more people there, really, to make it more wealthy. Or wealthier is probably a better way of saying that. But our army can muster. Swifred won't do anything while our army sits in that fort. He's not got the stones for it. He's not got the stones. Speaking of that fort, Chieftain Donkaith, if you go to there, and then I'd like you to take a grouping of our best units. Cavalry will be nice. Definitely those. All of that. I'll take them. I'll take them. I will take some archers. Why did someone just say "How may I serve" with an Eastern accent? Don't know. Moments passing. Oh, there you go. Someone just said orders. Oh well, bit of a bug. You haven't got very many archers, have you? In fact, I think you've only got one. So we need to definitely give you a few more archers. I'm thinking the Dunlending Raiders can step to the side to make room for another archer unit. And we've got 2 javelins there. We've got 2 axe throwers there, which is nice. We don't want to get rid of the wolf swords. The Dovesheath Elders I don't think are all that useful in an elite army. But you can't actually make it all the way down there yet, so just get as close as you can. We've got 5 of those in there. Do it, do it. We've still got some elite units over there that we would like. So move those out as well. And we'll form an army out of everything we've got there. Oh, and even more units are ready again. Well, you might as well train elites, I suppose. You can have 3 free upkeep. And I'm going to get rid of you and you. I'm going to take the Ambashtoi. Ambashtoi are coming with us. Can you train anything, Byrick? No, you can't even retrain. Bugger off, Dunland. Let your nation die well. Die in peace. Die away from me. It'll take a long time for the AI to break down Coloniac, though. They're not very good at taking cities with large garrisons. And also, there isn't anyone up here who really wins in auto-resolves. Obviously, the dwarves get huge auto-resolve bonuses. We've covered that before. The elves get good auto-resolve bonuses just because they've got high armor. Anyone that gets high armor. So the best nation in and around Eriador is, of course, Ered Luin, but Ered Luin aren't here and they're not involved. The Dunedain are possibly up there, but the Dunedain don't have enough heavily armoured units until the very late game to really turn the tide in their favour with auto-resolves. And, of course, Bree don't have any really heavily armoured units. So if Bree are the only ones attacking Dunland, they're going to hold Coloniac for ages because Bree just don't get any favour in the auto-resolve. So they need to outnumber them about 5-1. I also think auto-resolve does take cities into account more so than they possibly should. I'm really not 100% sure, I'm afraid. To learn how the auto-resolve works would require an intimate knowledge of the way that the game was actually created. And I do not have the level of knowledge required. I don't think anyone modding Med 2 at the moment does, really. Mordor and Ardenheim are at war. Mordor and Harad have broken their alliance. Right, now we can continue forming up our nice little army. So Donkaith has room for 3 more. And from those we're taking you and you. Any Dovesheath Foresters? Not enough. Right, we'll take that one as well then. So all 3 of you. Right, so that's our primo army. Trying to get Donkaith more command stars. And Dolaith, who's pulling up the rear, let's start you off with some full battalions before we worry about giving you... Well, that's a full army, you can just take that. Take those as well. And then you can cherry pick from that. Oh, the Ambashtoi, we'll definitely want them in your army. So we only need 4 more from this grouping. So we'll take the Fowlan. Take the pikes, take the spears, and take the spears. Don't think we have very many ranged units in that little roster. Blar, go into the fort with those. You can follow us along. You might as well join me then, Baxter. And there we are. 2 clear armies to send a message to Rohan. We've got to somehow take Eisenrun. I don't know how we're going to do that. It's going to be a challenge, and no doubt. That's the Aztec one. I think that one works all right. It's nice and gentle and simple. Just kind of flows through. Now, discussions. Some things to note. Number 1 is it seems almost certain that the Woodland Realm has won the faction vote, which I am not in any way against. I like the Woodland Realm. It's been a while since we played them, and I'm pretty sure the last time I played them I actually lost. So I would welcome that. A chance for Faramir, Captain of Gondor, to show his honour. No. What it is I completely lost my train of thought, because I don't think the word there is honour, is it? Chance for Faramir, Captain of Gondor, to show his... Is it honour or is it greatness? I can't remember. I haven't seen the film in a while. Anywho, and I haven't read the book in about 3 years. Anyway, diddly ding. So the Woodland Realm are probably going to win the faction votes, which I'm very happy with. The second place was Lothlorien, so it was always going to be between Woodland Realm and Lothlorien, and I think almost certainly that is, of course, because the Woodland Realm and Lothlorien have recently been given the ability to merge with the other faction at the end of the Alliance script. And when I say recently been given, they haven't been given it yet, but I plan to do that this weekend. It's a very, very simple addition to the script that's already there. It's like 1 line of code, so that will definitely be in the mod by the time it concludes, so I can show you all how that works, which will be good. The second point to discuss is the Gondor Dol Amroth subsuming, the merging of Gondor and Dol Amroth. Now, in principle, the modding team, after describing fully how the merging actually works, everyone is on board. The question now we have is how easy and or hard should it be to merge Gondor and Dol Amroth? And we are leaning towards a region requirement or a faction defeated requirement. Personally, I would rather it were a region requirement. I think I can just end the turn and talk while we're doing it. Yeah. So my suggestion would be that as Gondor, you should take a certain number of regions. So you already start the game with, I think, about 12 or 13. So we should set it at maybe 20, something like that. So that's 7 regions you'd have to conquer. Maybe 25, so that it's up to 12 regions you'd need to conquer, depending on how many you start with. And then at that point, essentially, the councils would come together and suggest that as our nation now prospers and flourishes, we no longer have need of Dol Amroth conducting their own military commands, and we can therefore essentially use our power to pull in to rein in Dol Amroth's autonomy. The other suggestion, which Hummingbird went with, and I think was possibly suggested with the actual suggestion on Discord, is to instead require that either the Ardenaim, Harad, or Mordor is destroyed, and at that point, then Dol Amroth will join with Gondor, because they're no longer needed to have such autonomy to defend the southern borders. But we need to work it out. Primarily, the problem is trying to find the lore reason. I'll talk about what's on the screen in a second, but the issue is trying to find the lore reason behind what is a very good gameplay feature. Because as Gondor, once you get to a certain point, Dol Amroth just is in the way. You either have to destroy them to train their troops, to train Amrothian troops, or you need to get them out of the way because they're now just hindering your advance into the south. They're taking regions that you want, they're blocking you. So merging them into Gondor just, I think, does work and acts as a good end game or mid to late game reward for your progress as Gondor. You then just basically get gifted these extra regions. So, whatever thoughts you have about Gondor and Dol Amroth merging together, do put them in the comments below, and I would welcome reading them. But speaking of reading, we have some more, and I am going to read these because we've put the time to write them, so I apologise. But I also don't apologise at the same time. The Declaration of Athamore. The sun rises on a new era for us. As its rays illuminate Athamore, it was clear the city had changed. While much of the city has remained as the despoilers constructed it, we have made it our own. The banners of our clans fly throughout, and after many years of being abandoned, the city is once again alive, with traders plying their wares and folk greeting each other in the streets. In the heart of the city stands the Tir Crocroil, the heart of the forest. In old, it was said to have stood in the heart of the great forest, a wooden hall within a sacred glade. That era has passed. While we can hope to rejuvenate the great forest and heal some scars, we will never truly resurrect what was lost. This Tir Crocroil stands for what we are now. A confederacy of diverse clans, from all walks of life and varied origins. No longer does blood or lineage define clansmen, but their love and pride in our shared nation. It stands as an impressive feat of stonework with an intricate carvings from the most skilled craftsmen of each clan, and the sun glints over its spires, plated with gold and silver, and reflects off its marble facade. Before it, any foreign lord cannot deny that we are equal to them. Within it, the Council of Athamore governs, the successor to the Clan Moot, and a true ruling council made up of representatives from every clan, even including the Dove Sheath, whom have long guided us and our kin in Dunland. No longer shall we remain bickering and splintered clans, and even now our neighbours have finally started to parley with us seriously on equal grounds. And as their first act, the ruling council have issued a declaration and have proclaimed that we are a new nation, building on the foundations of the past, the Confederacy of Athamore. Until the present crisis has passed, the Council of Athamore has allowed us to continue to command the now unified military. Our pivotal role in events have convinced them that we are best suited to deal with the crisis of the Shadow. With our people's skill in construction being proven with construction of the Tir Crocoil, they have become inspired to perform even greater feats, and we can now fully expand both our cities and castles, freed from our prior restrictions. Furthermore, with the declaration of Confederacy of Athamore, efforts have been made to establish a unified military force as an extension of the clan heralds, and they can now be recruited if we expand the Clan Moot mustering grounds. Finally, a force of brave champions has arisen from the Mordag with support from the other clans to once again protect the Tir Crocoil and Athamore as they did of old. Fiongan's son Saithach has even led the 1st Battalion, acting as an example to the other youths of our nation. We should be proud. We have taken our nation from bickering clansmen with little military infrastructure to a unified nation that can match arms with any. Our future is finally secure. Long live the Confederacy of Athamore. Absolutely fantastic news. So with that, straight away, city upgrade, chuck that in, and you'll note we can now get the Clan Moot Barracks, which trains everything it did before, but also now trains the Enedwaith Marksmen, Enedwaith Guardsmen, the other way around, and Enedwaith Cavalry, who have our elite units. These are our units that can hold up and stand toe-to-toe with elites of other factions. Now, we are still wildmen. Our elite units are not going to take on dwarven elites and knock them down like they are nothing. They will still require some skill in command, but they are infinitely better than anything Enedwaith had to offer before, particularly the Co-San-Toire. They stand as fantastic warriors. Although with the accent over the O, perhaps that means that the OI shouldn't be pronounced as toy, but should instead be pronounced as OI, Co-San-Toire, to separate them. I'm not really sure. If you do know, let me know. I like to know how to pronounce things properly. Do it in a nice way, though. Don't tell me I'm a moron. Saithach, here he is. He leads the 1st Battalion of those Co-San-Toire, which is how I'm probably going to pronounce them for the rest of this one. And you can see firsthand there how the script has worked, with Alkford already being able to upgrade. And it is the only one, actually, that can, because, of course, Londare already stands as a city. But with our new and improved skills, we could turn it into a large city, but we do need another 15,000 people to move there. So that's going to take a little bit of time. It's not going to happen straight away. Right, our armies move further into Eisenrun, where we will incur the wrath of Rohan. What is the garrison of Eisenrun? We've got some elites in there. Riddermark Axemen, Medicel Door Wards, Royal Guard. They've even got Guard of the Caves. It's good to see. I like a little bit of variety. I'd really like Isengard, but I don't want to turn on Saruman just to get it. I mean, Saruman is long dead. He died ages ago, but his peoples have been staunch allies of ours for some time now. You can try and get to the front. Oh, no, I tell you what. If you wait in Athamore for now, and then we'll link you up with that army that's training. And if we train elites throughout, or if we train some of our better units in our other towns, set them all to go onto this bridge. Can you give me anything good? You can give me Mordag Skirmishers and Fowler Warriors. Onto the bridge. Hear it? You could give me... I'm not on that. We'll have an army of Fowler Warriors if we just go with them. I will take the Dunlending Raiders. I do think they have a use. Although they are... Attack is 7. What's their comparable to? Spearmen of 18 defense. But then there are stronger defensive units. You'll note there how the elites kind of do filter around the roles. So Guardsmen, for example, are javelin throwers, and then I believe they're spearmen afterward. Marksmen are just archers. So they have a 22 defense, but you will note there that the Leodan spearmen, as we saw in Dunyard, have an 18 defense. So even the Leodan are so well armoured that they work even in the late game, which I like. I like that a lot. Alkford, you can train some units, can't you? You can go over to that bridge as well. Yes, you can train a load. 3 Ambakstoi. Brilliant. I'll take the Foresters, I'll take the Druidine, I'll take the Archers, and I will take... Oh, you can train so many. Can we get you a better building? Have we got the highest till Town Hall? Elders Hall? What's above an Elders Hall? Nothing. Bugger, that is the highest. Curses. Oh well. Although, actually, everything needs to take a turn to realise that we can get higher tier buildings. Maybe I haven't unlocked the higher tier buildings for them in the EDB, because I'm sure there's 2 more tiers of a town hall after that. You should definitely get a clan meet muster ground so that we can then get you the barracks. But the Enedwaith units come from the Tir Crocoil itself, which does mean that Athamore, as you'll note, the name has changed, which I don't think stands as our capital, so let's just follow that up. I'm sure we probably can set the script to make it your capital. We'll just have to look into that. Anyway, let's move these for now. Let's just move these forward. And we'll see what Rohan does. Oh, why? No, just attack.
To battle.
Oh, we could go straight in. Oh, we could go straight in, he says. Through conniving teeth. Do we want to go straight in, though? No, I don't think so. That army would pull back. Those 2 would pull back. But I'm not sure that Airmen can get to us. So I think... Oh, it's first Captain Shakur. The faction heir stands with us. Much better general than we are, Jesus. Donkai, do you have traits that make you good at doing other things, though? He's good at defending walls. He gets 1 command when attacking walls. He's a brutal conqueror, looting gain, troop morale, no effect, just as a banner from Dunland. Confident defender. Oh, so he's good when he's defending. He gets an extra. He does get a couple of extra points of attack when we actually get into the battle.
Orders.
Oh, I'll tell you what. If you move forward as well, oh, you could attack Dior actually, couldn't you? Yeah, go on. Ah, they ran away. All right, give them food for thought. Food for thought. Food for thought. Oh, you're training elites as well. Yeah, send them up north. Perfect. So armies are mustering from all around, and Athamore itself will send them out. Sithach will lead them. But for now, that is then going to end this episode. I will read the Tir Crocoil thing next time, if I remember, in the live stream on Saturday, because of course I will live stream the final episode this week of Enedwaith. It's not the last episode of Enedwaith, but it is the last episode of these 3. And that will be live streamed on Saturday, 11 o'clock in the morning, GMT. Join us. Come, ask your questions. Anything about anything, and I will do what I can to answer it. And thereafter, as I've mentioned already, next week there'll be 2 Anduin episodes, which will be the end of the Anduin campaign. Whether we win it or not, those 2 will end it. And then, as I say, it looks like the Woodland Realm has won. Or certainly when I last checked, which was last night, they were winning. I can't imagine things will change. Usually get an idea of who's going to win pretty much straight away, to be honest. So the Woodland Realm will likely be our next campaign, with the new introduction of taking over Lothlorien's lands at the end of the script. So very interesting indeed. But until we speak again, dear friends, have a smashing couple of days. I do hope you're keeping positive and well during these times. It's raining today, sadly, but we do what we can. It rains all the time in England, so it's nothing. But until we speak again, Novair Naden Peramad Melonin, and farewell.